Good evening, everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces, so a lot of faces I haven't met before, or names that I've seen in emails but I haven't met before. You know, black people, we all kind of like we know each other.
That's right.
Some of you just know off of Twitter, we're hanging out and all that good stuff as well. So thanks for that. I'll start out today by first, today's July 31st, those of you my Facebook friends would have saw my post today. Today would have been my grandmother's 100th birthday.
Wow.
So she was very close to me. You know, most Caribbean African households, grandmothers are everything. So I visited her this morning, and I found it ironic that today I'm having this discussion on the day of her birthday. So I thought as I go through my 10 minutes or so, I'll start off with a journey of her and how it links back to what we're discussing today. And granted, like my point of view on things is a little bit different because I'm born and bred in the IT industry. I've been in the private sector my whole life. When I've been asked to get involved in volunteer work, etc., it's because people ask me. I've never worked for a not-for-profit. I never worked for an association. I never worked for a funding agency in my life. Someone called me and said, "Rad, can you help us? Because you're a guy who works in IBM and you work in IT. You talk to some black kids." And that's how it started, basically. So I may say some things that go against what some of you are taught in your funding agencies, etc. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to be rude. It's based on my experience. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It's just my experience. So when I think about my grandmother, there's a lot of good memories, but one of the most, next to maybe becoming a father and saying I do to my bride, maybe the third best moment of my life was when I graduated from university. And before I was about to graduate, you know, I spent an extra year at York. I switched majors from economics to marketing, and I just wanted to get out of there. So the day of graduation, I'm like, thank goodness, I paid $30-something thousand for a piece of paper. And that was my attitude. I just want to get out of here. So then you get the tickets for your graduation ceremony. I got one for my mom, for my sister, one for my grandmother. My grandmother lived at Dufferin and Eglinton at the time. And she was about to turn 80. She took the bus to York University. She said, "No, but man, take the bus. Don't worry with me. Don't worry with me." So she showed up, found exactly where to find us, York. So when they call your name, right? So our section came up, Rad Dockery, Bachelor of Business, Atkinson College. And you know, everyone cheers when they call your name, right? So my turn section is 3 people, my mom, my sister, my grandmother. So I go to shake the chancellor's hand, and the chancellor goes, "How many people are here for you? Wow." And I said, "There's only 3, and the loudest one's 80 years old." And the chancellor giggles. And I'm walking back to the, finally got my paper, I'm finally free. Got a degree, no one can tell me nothing now. And when I got back, I saw the look on my mom's face. There's a look of like, wow, look at where we grew up in Jamaica. My mom, they grew up in a place called Monterey in Clarendon, Jamaica. They grew up poor. So I saw the look on her face, and I felt the emotion when I hugged her. A sense that, yes, I know where we come from. We never could have imagined this. And it hit me that I was being selfish, that today is about me. Just want to get out of here. Well, all the sacrifices that she and my dad, when they came in the early 70s, been through, to have that moment happen. Then my grandmother was standing right behind. I lost it. I looked at her, and her whole aura just said, 1918, I was born. In a Jamaica where if you went to the wrong part of Jamaica, you weren't allowed to hang out there. Jamaica wasn't even a country. It was a British colony. You're under British rule. And her whole aura just said, my grandson graduated from a white man's university. There's a sense of pride, and she was beaming. And I looked at her, I realized this is more than just about me. This is about, she didn't have a degree, she didn't finish grade 5. But she was the smartest woman I ever met in my life. Because what that is fundamentals. All I'm gonna talk about is fundamentals. Because no matter what happens out here, there's fundamentals. We're just talking about basketball. No matter how good of a dunker LeBron James is, he's great because he could do fundamental things like hit a jump shot. He could do fundamental things. And everything we do in our lives is basic fundamentals, right? And she taught me fundamentals that keep me grounded in who I am. And when we talk about, you know, our youth, etc., we talk a lot about our young people. We don't talk a lot about the adults who are raising them enough. So my parents will tell me when they came here in the early 70s, you know, if one person had to go to work a second shift at work, everyone in the neighborhood helped look after each other's kids. You know, so I had like 5 or 7 people I called mom or dad, right? You knew if you did something wrong, you're getting licks from everybody, right? You knew, so everyone knew. Just like back home, they would tell them. But yet, no, once everyone got a little bit of mobility, got their house, everyone scattered. Some in Mississauga, some in Ajax, some in Toronto, so some in North York, some in Vaughan. And we kind of lost a bit of that. You know, to say, like, I have no babysitting today because someone helped me watch the kid. Now you gotta run down people to help you. Back in the day, it was no big deal. Fundamentals. Fundamentals is when you are a black person walking into the IT world and you walk around a table like this and you're the only one in the room who looks like anybody. And everyone looks at you like this shouldn't be there. Or you're mistaken to be the person who's serving the food. Or when you're told, like, okay, write notes because you're writing notes. No, I'm not writing notes, I'm the manager. When they see Rad Dockery, when they look at me, they see a British name and they see me. What keeps you grounded? What prevents you from taking up the thing and smash it or something like that? Okay, like, who are you talking to like that? What you feel like doing, right? What stops you? Your fundamentals. And one thing I've come to learn when in my world, IT has changed a lot. And you're hearing about all this stuff about artificial intelligence and all this new stuff that's coming. No one knows what's gonna happen. I can read you 10 reports that say your job's gone tomorrow, 10 reports saying 50 jobs coming tomorrow. Right? No one knows. We're figuring out that's gonna be a trillionaire. But here's what I do know. Fundamentals never change. So how you interact and deal with people will never change. But one thing that has changed is that when I was in university and I was in my first year marketing class and I saw 500 students in my class, I made a calculation really fast in my head. I said 8 classes at York, 500, that's 4,000, 10 universities, that's 40,000 in Ontario. Take Canada, I'll make another 80,000. I'm competing against 80,000 kids for jobs when I graduate from here. That was my domain right there. I'm in year 3, I know I got this big student loan. They don't care I'm a good guy, I have to pay that loan off. I thought about it. What's gonna make me different? So one day I was at my grandmother's house. Every Wednesday I'd stay by her house. She'd cook a big lunch for me and my friends. I used to after. Next class you couldn't even concentrate. A big piece of dumpling, bread food, everything you can't eat for lunch. Mama's just lunch, man. Mama cook up big food. There you go. And then one day I'm sitting there, I stayed late. And I was trying to a math class for finance. I couldn't figure it out. And Mama's like, what's wrong, Randy? I'm like, Mama, this thing's too hard, man. She goes, just take a nap. Just take a nap. So I took a nap. I woke up, and presto, it came to me what I needed to do. I said, this is how you figure it out. And Mama was watching me, and Mama was laughing in the back, but I said, And she had this saying, she always to say, if it meant good, you know it's how to run. Right? Always to say this to me. She said, every hard time you got is teaching you something. Fundamentals. Lead when I'm in my IT career, the first promotion on Overlook. You get depressed. Well, I remember Mama in my ear. You make good, you know how to run. I remember growing up with my mom, grandmother. My mom would make dumplings for the soup on Saturdays. Ratty, come make the dumplings. During those conversations, you get to talk. So you get to know each other. It's a different type of conversation. Where my dad would be making something, and then, come Ratty, make it with me. That's fundamentals. So we're talking about our youth so much, and we should. What are we doing to prepare ourselves to be more relevant to them? Because the difference right now is this. The difference right now is that they have a lot more distractions than I have. You know the average person is, what's the numbers? About 58,000 marketing messages are hit with a day. Called digital world we're in today. When I was growing up, it was about 300. You're competing against all of that. The school system competing against all of that. I'm not talking about kids who want to gangbang. We could deal with that in a separate talk. I'm talking about everyday things you're trying to deal with every day. And the big difference right now is, remember I mentioned those 40,000 kids in Ontario? Now competing against the world. India has 1.3 billion people. Half the population is under 30. China has 1.6 billion. Indonesia has 300 million people. 62% of the population is under 30. It's not good enough to tell my kids to go to school and education, get an education. That's not good enough to tell them anymore. Because you're one of 5 billion kids with a university degree. We can have that kind of straight talk. It's like when you get a degree, what are you going to do and activate? What's your foundation? The South Asian population, they got their foundation. Now our foundation has been scrambled. a lot, what's happened to us in our past. But nothing stopped me from hanging out with my grandmother when I was a young boy until she passed away. Those fundamentals are going to give us the strength to deal with what's happening next. What's happening next is, I go to a warehouse in Kitchener. The guy told me 15 years ago we had 45 people working here. Now because of technology, I only need 5. That means people like us, who are part of this, Generation X, a lot of us are not making the income we used to make. That puts pressure on our young people. Our young people are not stupid. They hear when mom and dad are sitting at the kitchen table and saying, why? How are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to pay for university? How are we going to manage this month? This bill went up, how are we going to They hear that. We can't shield them for what's happening out here. We got to prepare them. Preparing means the cultural foundations that we have, because I sit there and I watch what's happening in Caravana, and I watch how it's jumping up, having fun, that's true, but people are forgetting about the culture. It was a rebellion against the slave master. It was freeing up in front of you. I own business. Culture is important, but as well to get them ready for what's going to happen. Financially, what are we doing? So if we can't afford to buy that life insurance policy to give the child 50 grand when they're 25 years old, how do we make sure we can afford that? How do we make sure that the transfers wealth when we pass away, that they're not 50 steps behind, not only maybe 10 steps behind? Because right now, I work in IT and I see startups every day. I'm seeing companies transfer millions of dollars, and there's young son or daughter who's 17 is on the board of directors. Our kids gotta compete against that. And it's just not us. Around the world, many countries around the world, even some of the richer countries around the world, trying to figure this out. So when we start talking about how to engage our youth and empower our youth and our parents, it has to kind of go back to that foundational thing of the community again. All of us have specialties in something that we're very good at. I happen to know IT and technology very well. If you got young people interested, let me know. He understands African politics and African geopolitics quite a bit. Let you know. Sophie has a lot of experience in many areas, and I come to her if I don't know something. We have to start doing that, because the reality is, it's not complaining about our kids watching that video game. Let's teach them how to make those video games. Let's teach them how to distribute those video games. Let's teach them to create the next Fortnite. There's one called Night in Thailand that's in my mind. I'm global. Let's take our kids on a vacation somewhere outside of your comfort zone. Say, no, we're going to go to China for a week. Craig, you were in Iceland recently, was that true?
Yep.
How many black people you see in Iceland?
Actually, a lot more than I thought.
Well,
Not from here.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
But yeah, absolutely.
So I think part of it, and we're not going to have to solve all the world's problems today. My point of view is that there's a cultural, social, economic thing we're going to go ahead with our young people. It's not good enough just to say, just do this why, just do this yell, and that's good enough. We have to start putting some meat to it. And what you don't know is fine, but not seeking to know what is worse. And that's all I got to say as we proceed on.
Thank you. So what would be, that was wonderful, Brad. That was really good, because I think the fact that you made it global, and especially around, I watch my kids all the time, and they are on their devices, and what that says is that we're smaller than we think. You know what I mean? We are global. So you tell us, what are maybe your 3 to 5 steps that you think summer's almost over? Those of us who may have kids that are still in school, or kids that are going into kindergarten, what can we do for the next month and a half to kind of help them as they're going back to school? Because what happens, the reason I ask this is oftentimes throughout the summer, the youth, they forget most of what they've learned. And so that's why when they get back to school, guys, you can tell me, you guys are doing review, correct? They're doing review before they get back into things. So what would you suggest?
One thing I try to do, I was kind of lucky. My dad grew up as an entrepreneur. He always had to be nimble growing up, right? I grew up watching my dad always change what was going. One thing I would do, and what I'm trying to do with my daughter at 5 years old, take the things that she really likes already, right? So Madeline, they heard a story from my wife. My daughter loves My Little Pony, like it's ridiculous. Right? So how can I take what she likes and use that as a way to connect it to something that will teach her something of value? Right? So I watch some of the episodes and I'm like, okay, you see how that person with that attitude, what ended up to them, what happened to them? You see, Nia? She has to learn that. Or I might see a concept and I'm like, Nia, that's math. Look at what she did. That's math. So she did that and that was mathematics. And she's like, that's math? Next morning, what does Nia do? Dad, I'm trying to do math like blah, 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 My Little Pony. What I'm trying to say here is that take what your kids already like to do and connect it to something of tangible value. Instead of trying to say, put that down and do this. Find a link. And if you don't know, there's something called Google, you can search and figure it out, right? But I think that's kind of the angle I take. The first thing I do is take what you like and connect to something that can be tangible. Now, at my 5-year-old's case, it could be a different discussion I would have with a 22-year-old. Right? The different discussion you have based on the child's age and experience. But that's the first step I think you take. But the first step before this is that you're going to be willing to break out of your comfort zone and say, what can I learn that's new, that extends me, so your child sees that you're also willing to learn. Right? It's kind of like we tell our kids to come off our phone, but we're always on our phone. No, come off our Facebook, boy, I'm on Facebook all day. Right? Don't do this, but you're doing the same thing. Like they're gonna fitness trainer who's out of shape telling you to do this. Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
Right? So I think part of it is like show that you're willing to break out your comfort zone. Or I do one thing with me, I have a globe in a room, I spin the globe. We pick a country. And I go, okay, let's look this country up online. Right? That's why it's My Little Pony shown in that country, yeah, for fun. So now Nia can point out Indonesia, Singapore, South Africa, Madagascar, the movie. Now she's learning about Madagascar, right? So I think it's our job to make it exciting. So they go back to school, they can connect to something that gives them passion.
Right.
Instead of becoming another robot when they graduate and put another robot in society that's doing a job 9 to 5 and then retire.
Thank you.